It is an absolutely glorious October morning and I feel so blessed to be alive. It looks like there's not even any leaves, but there are leaves coming down in real time. There are a lot of people who really can't wait for this time of year to be over, and then there's other people, and a lot of them are pagans and witches who just like savour every moment and try and be out in it as much as possible and just try and grasp it with their eyes and their minds and their souls. And even though it comes along every year like clockwork, and if you're in the same country, you know, it stays the same pretty much every year. Like, you know, it has the same tendencies, the same colours, the same nuances, the same temperatures. But even so, even having said that, there is something about it that feels so temporal, as though a light show is passing through town and you have to get there, you've got to be there, you have to see it. And that's how I feel every single autumn. I just feel like I have to be out in it, I have to be drinking it in, I have to be seeing it. You've got to see it to believe it. The colours are just magnificent. Holy paint box, Batman. It is the appropriate time of year for change, and some changes have occurred, as you'll notice from the header of the YouTube channel and my social media handles and stuff like that. I'm not the Four Queens anymore, and this is not a decision that I took lightly or made quickly. It's a decision I've been mulling over for a number of months. I wanted to do it at the beginning of the year, but there were a bunch of reasons why not, and then I just put it off. And you know, suddenly right at the end of September, I kind of got this really rude awakening from the cosmos. Like, all this chaos started happening, and everything that I thought was, you know, stable and comfortable, or a lot of things that I thought were stable and comfortable, like basically just fell in on me. Some of them literally, like my ceiling in my studio room. For anybody who follows me on my Facebook page, you probably already know and have seen the photo. But yeah, like a lot of stuff just started to tumble down, and I thought to myself, I think I'm being pushed to make a couple of big changes. I really feel like this is tough love. This is tough love, goddess love, tough love, you know the kind I mean, where you just feel pushed. You know, you're on the edge, you're standing on the barrier and you're not quite jumping over, and then suddenly this big gust of divine wind comes in and says, get over there, you're fine, stop being such a bloody pussy. I feel that I'm very much surrounded by the energy of the death goddess. There's such a huge vibration of that in my life right now, and I'm so grateful that I've already been acquainted with her, and I'm so grateful that I already have let her in and that I know her presence, because if I didn't, this would be very difficult for me, even more difficult than it is. There have been a lot of endings in the last few months, some of them painful. Over the last year there have been actually quite a few endings in my life, some of them painful, some of them absolutely necessary. There has been some very difficult metamorphosis. There have been skins that I have known that I should shed and have not wanted to, and then when I've been through the hassle of doing it, it's felt so good. We own a land gecko, me and Danny do, a gecko called Vela, and she sheds her skin periodically when she kind of has eaten quite a bit and she's a bit uncomfy, or just naturally it starts to shed so that she can get a nice clean one. And I watch her moult, and she pulls herself out of her own skin. She eats her own skin off of her and yanks herself out of it, and inside there's this new vibrant version of her skin, right? And that is very symbolic to me and very meaningful, and I love watching that, and I watch it with great intensity because she puts so much effort into this metamorphosis, and it looks so tiring for her, and afterwards she's just knackered and she needs to go to sleep for ages. And watching a creature shed a skin like that is so meaningful if you really think about what it feels like when you shed a skin, what it feels like when you go through change, because it is a lot of effort and it is tiring and it does look surprisingly gross. It's not like this beautiful, you know, poetic thing. It is messy. And so when she sheds her skin, I like to watch her and remember that, and remember how that factors into my own life. I love symbolism. I love it. What can I tell you? I just live my life by its sacred code. So I wanted to do a bit more in Self-Love September. I wanted to do like 4 more videos for Self-Love September, so we're 4 short of the mark that I wanted to aim for, and I had written notes for a further 4 videos. But honestly, stuff started to go so nuts in September. Everything just started to, the universe just started to talk to me in all of these different ways. Most of them inconvenient, some of them scary, and a lot of them miserable. But I feel like that's quite often, you know, what needs to happen to get you to pay attention. So those things started happening, and I got a little bit less time to do what I originally set out to do. And then other things started to happen, technical things, glitches, my SD card got screwed up. You know, I went to Berlin and the internet connection was appalling. I was so surprised. I was really shocked. I really thought Berlin would have like some super fast internet just at cafes, or, I mean, even the internet in my hotel, I was shocked by the speed of it. It was like, it was going to take me thousands upon thousands upon thousands of minutes to upload a video. So, you know, I only got one uploaded in Berlin, and by God, I had to leave my computer on all day to get that uploaded. All day and all night and all day again. It was ridiculous. Oh, coffee. So that stuff came into it, and I was thinking, wow, this is really just sort of, there's a lot of things happening, and personal things, professional things that are going down, man. And then I went to Berlin, and then I had a fantastic time in Berlin. If you don't follow me on Instagram, I did put a few pictures on Instagram. You can follow the link in the doobly-doo to have a look at my photos. Loved Berlin, never been before. It's a city I've always meant to go to and somehow never quite got there. So it was a wonderful experience, and a very a somewhat spiritual experience actually for me. So that was awesome. And then I came back home and my ceiling was on the floor. Yeah, baby. It's all going on in my life. What can I tell you? It's all fun and games. I came home, the ceiling of my studio room had completely fallen in, taking with it a couple of my tarot decks. Yeah, a lot of water fell directly onto my case where I keep all of my tarot deck collection. So that was wonderful. But like, you know, I did actually originally thought that I lost 7 tarot decks, but actually once I dried them out and separated them and given them a couple of days in the sunlight, I realised that quite a few of them were still very much usable, but just have ended up looking maybe a little older, as though I've had them for a lot longer than I have, which I actually find very aesthetically pleasing, and goes with my vibes. So I've lost 2 tarot decks, which I will reorder. But yeah, it's tragic. They were stuck together and the colours were running, and it was awful because I know a lot of tarot deck collectors actually have nightmares about fire and water. And so to come home and to find my tarot decks wet like that, it was awful. I was on my knees in the hall crying. It was awful. But I'm really glad that the ceiling didn't fall down on the other side of the room, which is where my boyfriend keeps his insanely expensive musical equipment, all of his buttons and speakers and his MacBook and all the rest of it. So I'm kind of glad that it was, this is like a DJ joke now, I'm glad that it was my decks that got destroyed and not his decks. Ha ha. No, seriously, it was very upsetting. But I saw it as a sign, and this is what spiritual people do, right? Like we take something and we're like, wow, where's the lesson? How can I extrapolate the lesson? What is this trying to tell me? There's a deeper layer, it's a symbolic layer, I need to get through the layer, I need to discover what's behind there. And that's what I did, and it seemed really fairly obvious that the cards were to do with, first of all, valuing what I've got, being so grateful for it, so grateful. It can become almost the norm to wake up in the morning and do tarot readings for money. There's nothing normal about it. It's absolutely the dream for me, because it's what I was born to do. So yeah, just to appreciate it. And also I feel like it was a bit of a kick in the pants to get changes made and to actually do what I've been saying I was going to do. I've been saying I was going to do it since the spring, and it's still not done. So now it's done. And I just took a deep breath and I did it, and I really hope that it reflects something very authentic about me and where I'm going with my creative project. And And so it's goodbye to the Four Queens. I've shed the skin. And it's not because I didn't like the name, it's not because I regretted the name, it's just because things have changed, you know, and I feel like it doesn't quite fit me anymore. I feel like I talk about a lot of other things aside from tarot. You know, I just feel like, you know, I've gone really beyond that now. There's quite a lot of other subjects that I talk about. I'm going to start talking about chaos magic fairly soon. I can hear some people salivating, banging on the desk, saying, will you fucking talk about it if you're going to talk about it? I've got my notebook ready and everything. So it's coming, it is coming. The chaos is coming, baby. I also know with, you know, a degree of certainty that the ceiling has fallen in on that particular room for a particular reason, to show me a particular thing. I don't want to get too personal. I mean, I like to talk about my personal life, but I don't really like to talk about stuff while it's going on. I like to process it and then extract the lesson and then do that wounded healer thing where I'm like, hey, I've discovered something, you might want to see what the map I've made of the terrain. But yeah, while I'm actually in the terrain, I'm like, you know, it's mad, and I'm trying to like unravel it. But yeah, I like to take things with a side of symbol. I like to take things with a side of, you know, cosmos is calling, please answer the phone. Saying goodbye to this stage of my creative life and moving over into using my real name it was a lot scarier before I did it. Now that I've done it, it just feels perfectly natural, and I just feel like, you know, people who do follow my work or talk to me on Facebook or anything like that just seem to think it's a natural progression and it's cool and that's it, and there's not really any huge kind of like, you know, I'm not getting a huge feeling that people are deflated by what I've done or that people are confused by what I've done, and that's really great because you know, I knew that I wanted to do it for a while, but I was kind of a bit nervous about the reaction. So it seems silly now that I've done it that I was nervous about the reaction. I'm the same person, and I'm going to be talking about the same stuff, and I'm going to be doing this still, you know, wandering around, chatting balls. That's what I do. So, you know, I'm still going to be doing all of that. Nothing's really going to change. I just feel like I want to do it under the guise of, well, not under the guise of anything. I suppose that's the point of it. I don't want to be under a guise anymore. I just want to be me. Oh, little slug. Baby slug. Oh, I'm so glad I saw you there. I almost stepped on you, babe. Oh, you're so cute. Yes, you are. I have made something for you. It is a e-zine. It is free. It's just a gift from me to you. It's called Awakening the Four Queens. You can download it now over on my website, kellyannemaddox.com. And it is like my goodbye to the name that I have used for so long and to the moniker that so many of you have gotten used to over time. And it's basically an exploration of the four queens as four very important archetypes in my life. And, you know, there are some personal insights in there from me about, you know, the way that I relate to the queens and the way that they factored into my life and helped me with my journey. And so I'm hoping that this e-zine is inspiring and that it manages to peel a couple of layers back off of these four queens and helps you, people who do tarot, or even if you don't do tarot and you just have your tarot read, or you're not that interested in tarot but you just like to see the free gift, I hope that it gives you a sense of the majesty and the meaning of the four queens, because they are just such four powerful, kick-ass, spellbinding women, and they have meant so much to me, and they will continue to mean so much to me. So I thought I would make the e-zine as kind of a little goodbye and a hello at the same time. I am going to be moving to a totally different area of the country. I feel like it's time to go down to the sea. I feel like, you know, that's another big thing that the ceiling coming in and all of this chaos going on has kind of illustrated to me, because Danny and I were going to wait until next spring/early summer to make our move, and we've now decided that this is the push that we needed. This is what's going on right now. So we have extended our trip down to the sea. We're going to see friends this weekend, but we actually amended our tickets so that we have more time to look at flats or apartments, whatever you want to call it. So we're really excited about that, and that's all going on, and ooh, it's scary. So many of you have told me that Self-Love September was so helpful to you and that you got so much out of the videos and out of the SoundCloud audio files and the blog post that I did. I know that I stopped blogging in mid-September, but with all of this going on, with all of I mean, just so much crazy has occurred this month that I really felt like I needed to slow down somewhat. But I really hope that you got something out of the journal prompts and the blog post that I wrote about social media, the stuff that I put on Facebook. I'm happy with the output for Self-Love September, but I'm wanting to talk more about self-love this month in 1 or 2 videos, just because there's some stuff that I didn't hit on that I really want to talk about. I really want to talk more about forgiveness and my own journey with forgiveness and the difference between forgiveness and reconciliation, healing from abuse, from deceit, from cruelty, people treating you meanly and all that. I went a bit Yorkshire there. And I want to talk about boundaries. I really want to talk about boundaries, and I want to talk about the difference between giving up and walking away. Giving up and saying I've had enough. A few people said on my Facebook page when I put out the call for topics to do with self-love that they really wanted me to get into the difference between walking away from something that just isn't working anymore in the interest of self-preservation and giving up on something that you should be working on and that you're just basically like, you know, you're giving up on because you feel like you can't do it or whatever, you feel like you aren't worthy of it. I've worked with many clients that struggle to see this difference between, you know, giving up on something that they just feel like they can't do or they're scared of trying to achieve, and walking away from something that has run its course, you know. And so I really want to talk about that more because I think that's a really interesting topic. So there will be some more self-love stuff coming this month, and I'm also hoping to do some tarot stuff and some chaos magic stuff. But you know, things are very kind of like up in the air and in a little bit of upheaval, so we'll just have to see how it goes. And I'm going to want to be out of the house a lot more, so I'm hoping the weather will hold up and I can do more videos outside. So I'm saying another very important goodbye as I move on into this new phase of my creative life and my professional life. I'm saying goodbye to Etsy. It was a great relationship, but all things must end. You can now purchase readings, sessions, packages, and shortly ebooks and e-guides and maybe courses, and I don't know, I'm feeling really prolific and creative and fertile at the moment. So you can purchase that kind of stuff on the Work With Me tab on kellyannemaddox.com. The shop is fully integrated, everything is splendid. You can pay by PayPal or any major credit or debit card. So, you know, you can work with me and nothing's changed in that regard. I'm still doing exactly what I did before. I'm still an intuitive spiritual counsellor. I still use tarot, I still use oracle, I still believe in the value of positive psychology, transpersonal therapy, CBT, and all that kind of thing. It's just going on in a different way, in a different sphere now. You'll be pleased to know that I have a 5% discount code for anybody who purchases anything on the kellyannemaddox.com website, and I'm going to keep that code active for 1 week starting from today, and you can use it, you can grab it down below and go over to the shop, put it in the discount coupon code box thingy. It's very clear, very obvious when you go through the payment system. So yeah, use it and come and get a reading with me if you've never gotten a reading with me before and you're wondering what it will be like, or you've been planning for it, or you know, it's something that you thought about. Then take this moment, take this opportunity over the next 7 days to go and have a look what I'm offering. The shop is not yet fully stocked. There is other stuff to come. I'm going to be adding some of the readings that I had before onto the shop here. There will be other options available, but I'm stocking things slowly but surely. But yeah, just keep checking back, seeing what I'm doing. I'm offering lots of different things. I offer 3 kinds of readings, 3 kinds of tarot/oracle readings. I offer a mini reading, which is a 500-word minimum and is delivered by PDF to your inbox. I offer a full-length reading, which is 1,000 words minimum, again delivered by PDF to your inbox. And I also offer an hour-long Skype reading. I've already done a few readings so far on my brand new shiny shop, and it's lovely, and just I couldn't be happier with it. I was really worried about finding something with the functionality of Etsy, but something which I could customize to my own needs, and I've just found something really simple that I can use that's great, and so I'm really happy with it. And it would be lovely to meet some of you who I know were waiting for me to sell on my own domain, because I know there were quite a few people who were waiting to work with me until I had my own domain, which is absolutely fair enough, and I have my own domain now, so please feel free to come and collaborate with me. There have been so many signs, so many symbols over the last couple of weeks, especially since I got back from Berlin. I mean, things really hotted up once I realised my ceiling was on the floor, you know, I mean, because that was such a big, jarring feeling of like, oh, this is my sanctuary, this is where my tarot decks are, this is where I do my videos, this is my happy place, this is where I do my meditation sessions, this is where I chill out, this is where I journal, this is where I go in the middle of the night, you know, when my boyfriend's asleep and I just want to like get away and do my creative thing without waking anybody up. This is my haven. And so there, you know, it's a really deep feeling when that gets ruined, and you start to open your eyes to other kinds of you know, I guess signs, I guess things you can learn from, if you don't want to think of it as signs, things you can really extract a strong lesson from, game-changing things, you know. And some of them I haven't even been looking for, they have just literally walked straight past me. I don't want to get any further into it than that, but it's just the things that I'm seeing, my past is coming back to not even to haunt me, but to illuminate me, to say, hey, this is what you could have won, and you're on to bigger and better things now, and you know, isn't that wondrous? I'm going to start rambling really incoherently. I just want to tell you that there are certain times in your life where you really feel like you are having a conversation with the universe, and the conversation is so organic and free-flowing, and it feels so stupendously natural, but at the same time it's overwhelming. It feels slightly intimidating. It feels a little bit like the Truman Show in some regards, like, did I just see what I thought I saw? Is this all about me? Am I the center of the universe? Like, it's a very strange feeling, and it's great, and it makes me feel so loved in a weird way, for someone who doesn't believe in a monotheistic interventionist deity. But suddenly I feel loved. I mean, you can't explain it. It's just, my heart chakra is open. It's open and ready to receive. If you are feeling it, if you are in the midst of a sea of synchronicity too, and you're looking for some armbands, then grab the discount code. I'm going to leave it in the doobly-doo, and I'll also just put it here, right below. Here it is, right below me now. And come over and collaborate with me, and let's see what we can make out of it, and let's see what the cards have to say. Thank you sincerely for being on the journey with me. I really hope you enjoy the e-zine. I really hope that you enjoy what's coming. I appreciate your communication, and I appreciate having this lovely platform where I can just express myself and be myself. And now I'm using my own name too, so you know, it couldn't get any more authentic than that. Feels a little bit vulnerable, I feel a little exposed, but you know, you've got to do that sometimes. You've got to do that in order to put the power into it. You've got to do that in order to make it kick, you know, to make it into magic with a K. So I feel like that's what I've done now. You shine, you shine, you shine, and that is all you really need to know. You know, if you know that, if you know how powerful you are, if you know your pure potential in this moment, then everything else follows, and everything else starts to come together, no matter what you're facing, no matter how much your life looks like the Tower card. If there's anything that you see over on the shop that's sold out, please don't worry. You don't need to contact me. I do know when things are running low, and probably what's happened is that I'm just not ready to stock up yet because I have a few orders that I need to do first. So don't worry about it. It's cool. There will be more options coming, and there will be more stock. I'm just going to stock organically as and when I feel moved to do so, and as and when I've got the freedom to take on more clients. So if you ever go to my shop and the work with me page is not there, or it's been replaced with something like, hey guys, I'm fully booked, then again, don't worry, just check back and it'll all be good. I'm just kind of finishing some stuff up or taking a little break or whatever the case may be. So yeah, you know, if you feel guided, come and work with me, and until next time, so much love. Blessed be.